we live in the most staggering time of acceleration. And the challenge is this. The challenge is comprehending the speed. You know, I spend my time with Fortune 500 organizations worldwide, helping to comprehend and adjust and align ourselves to a world in which the future belongs to those who are fast. Now I'm going to talk about the future. I'm going to talk about trends. It's going to be your ability to ingest these trends and turn them into opportunity that will increasingly define your future. If you think about what is going on, if you think about the speed of change, it's so overwhelming. Increasingly, the future belongs to those who are fast. Every day you open the news, you read reports, you look at what is occurring, you realize the scope of change is stunning. We're in an era in which multiple trends are coming together: artificial intelligence, 3D printing, additive manufacturing, Internet of Things. You take all of the trends which are coming together, and we've never witnessed a period of time in which so much change is coming at us so quickly. We're in a situation in which companies that do not yet exist will build products not yet conceived based on ideas not yet generated, using materials not yet invented, with manufacturing methodologies that aren't yet in existence. I think increasingly that's our reality going forward. Success will not come from your history. Success will not come from your legacy. Success will not come from what you've done in the past. It will come from your ability to ingest fast-paced change. What you really need to do going forward: think big, start small, scale faster. Thank you very much.
One more question.
One more?
I have two questions this morning. Would you consider...
Studio. Look, this is going to be a really interesting week as the world of politics moves into the virtual space. And I got up this morning and I was reading all the news headlines about the week that is coming up. And one of the things is they're talking about how it's going to be a struggle for a lot of these politicians to capture the excitement of being in a room in front of thousands of people, getting their message across, and suddenly having to do this in a virtual space. And the thought process that goes into trying to create a virtual event that works. Well, look, I just wish they would have called me, because I could have told them all about how to do a virtual event in which you have energy, you have excitement, you can deliver the same compelling content that you used to do in your old life out on a stage somewhere, because that's precisely what I've been doing in my home broadcast studio. And look, they could have called me. I've got the same agents who book me for keynotes around the world and in the virtual space as Barack and Michelle Obama. I've been out there for 25 years and have spent a lot of time at a lot of high-profile events and a lot of massive stages. Look, if you're reading this as a political thing, get over it, because I'm also represented by the same folks who represent George Bush and all kinds of other folks on the other side of the political spectrum. The point is, we're headed into this virtual world with these political events. And it's going to be really interesting to see what unfolds. There's going to be a design, there's going to be a lot of stuff happening to try to engage the audience in this virtual space. There's going to be a lot of discussion about what works, what doesn't work. And that's the whole thing about virtual events. We're going to be here for quite some time to work, some time to come. And so organizations need to look for individuals who have mastered this online format. Well, not to toot my own horn, but what the heck, I'll toot my own horn. I've been on stage for 25 years. I started out at a lot of small scale events, that's sort of like playing the clubs as a young up and coming rock band. And over time, the stages got a little bit bigger. They tended to grow in size, and I soon found myself on stage at major events, talking to all kinds of different organizations, and the stages kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Until, one day I found myself walking out on a stage in Las Vegas, my name in big lights, and I've got 7,000 people in the room, and I'm looking out backstage and going, holy cow, I have to walk out there and do that. But that's what a professional speaker does. We earn our stripes by developing the capability to get out there and deliver. And we now have to do the same thing in this virtual space. And so I've got this massive, sophisticated control room infrastructure with dozens of people supporting what I am doing in this online virtual space so I can deliver my energy, my insight, my content in this small virtual format. Not really. All I've got is a home broadcast studio with a green wall, some green paint, a lot of sophisticated technology, but really figuring out how can I utilize this format to get the energy out there and interact with my audience. And I'm doing an event this week. There's going to be audience Q&A. There's going to be some text message polling. There's some pre-taped segments. There's some professionally produced video clips. I'm going to have them for an hour. And you really can hold an audience for an hour in this format if you do it right. The whole point of what is going on here is that virtual can be done right. A lot of people are of the mindset, well, virtual events suck because all they've been doing so far is going to a lot of virtual events which suck. The speakers in them look like they are a hostage in a hostage video. They've got some bookshelves behind them and they're droning on and they're going through some PowerPoints, and you sit there and in 5 minutes you zone out and you go online and buy your groceries because you got better stuff to do and things to worry about. Virtual doesn't suck. The right technology with the right message, with the right experience. I've invested over 1,500, probably 1,750 hours now in working with my home broadcast studio technology to develop the capability where I can do this. And we've got to do this in this new and complex world because individuals are getting zoomed out. There's so much content that they are being overwhelmed with in this virtual space. They need to be challenged to think in new and different ways. So it's going to be a really interesting week as we watch the Democratic National Convention unfold in the virtual space. It's going to be really interesting as we watch what those other guys are going to do in the week or week after. It's going to be really interesting to watch what unfolds as an entire political world continues to try to migrate to this virtual space. You're still looking for a solution to your political woes.
Thank you very much. One more
if you're still looking for a solution to all your political woes, I'm going to share with you a clip which came from an event I did in Las Vegas in 2011. It was a talk about the future of manufacturing. It's the Q&A portion. And at the end, a fellow came up and asked me a very pointed question. I'll close out the video clip with this. Have a good one.
Thank you very much.
One more question.
One more?
I have two. Would you consider running for president of our country? Second question. No.
I'm a Canadian, so I don't think I could.